Okay, so you send them messages so that they know that okay, these are the things you sell, these are the things that you have that you want to that you can send to them or that you can sell to them. So one thing you must understand or you must notice that when at first when you talk to people about what you are exporting or what you can ship to them, some of them already have their market. Some of these people, they have who is actually supplying them. They have someone who is actually, selling to them. So for those that already have stuffs like that, you need to constantly remind them. You need to constantly send them a reminder so that they will know that you want to be shipping or you want to export this product to them, and they can work towards it on your behalf. Like for instance, let me give you some example. I have some cousins in the US. I have some friends in Canada, some in Australia that I've been talking to for a long time. Like I would like to be shipping African food stuff to you. Like since they are Nigerians like me, can tell them the name of like Gary, Amala, something you can use for yam flour, this flour and all that. But some of them are like, oh, they have markets where they actually buy this product around there at competitive rates. So it now boils on me to keep on reminding them, sending them a reminder for them to, start buying. So another thing you can do is you can send them samples of your products. If you don't mind the cost, you can send them samples of your product, like, okay, uh, maybe 50 gram, 100 gram, 200 gram of your product. You can just send it to them, let them have a feel of it, let them taste it, so that if they like it, they can order for more. If they like it, they can order more from you, and you can ship it, you can send it to them. So those are some other ways that you can also use to get them to understand what you do. So around Nigerians in the diaspora, there are several Nigerian food stores. There are African food stores overseas around in different communities. So because of the growing population of Africans in the diaspora, people are going into the business of setting up African food stores. These food stores you can leverage on. So let's say you are talking to your friend in the US. Maybe he or she is living somewhere in Florida, Birmingham, somewhere, and you're saying, oh, I want to be shipping Gary to you. I'll ship Gary, I'll ship spices, ogbono, utazi leaves, bitter leaf, what again? Maybe blended, powdered onions, chili pepper, what do we have? Like low cost beans, the low cost beans that we eat a lot here, all those kind of things, even frozen snail, fresh frozen snail. So let's say he or she is now telling you that, no, I can't, maybe I don't want to accept such and all that. You can plead with him or her to check out African stores in the environment where he or she is living. In the environment where he or she is living, so that if they check the African store, they can note maybe the African store will need you to supply them or not. And when you have an African store buying from you, they buy more large quantity, you can start doing container shipment on foodstuffs. So the huge money you can get from foodstuff, you can get a good amount of money from your air freight if you have like maybe a big store buying from you. So a big store can give you a long list of items, of products. So you can tell you, oh, send us this. So one thing you must also notice that when I say food stuff, the food stuff does not necessarily mean you going to the market buying beans, buying rice, buying gari, buying yam flour, cassava flour, and things like that, or and all that. So those are raw foodstuffs, right? That you have to buy, process, then package for shipment. There are also food items. Food items, because in our next class, we'll be looking into categorization of foodstuffs. So there are also food items like your Titus, your geisha, your drinks, drinks like Coca-Cola, malt, Fanta, herbal, bitters, and all that. All these are exported. So all these are in demand. There are also home items, home utensils, kitchen utensils, home use, like bathing soap, like toothpaste, like the toothpaste that we use, and other products and items like that that are also in use. Okay, that are also in use. So what am I trying to say is that you have to also widen your scope to understand that it's not just foodstuff alone. It's not just foodstuff alone. So when we are talking about the concept of mini exporting, it means that whatever you can send out, whatever you can export, you can ship out, that it's small, in smaller quantities, not large quantities. So like for this program, some people are attending from other countries. They are closer to the market. They see the African food stores. They see the people who actually need what they want to produce. So maybe they want to go into production of their own food products here in Nigeria. They package the brand and all that. They move it to their own site, and they give it to the African food store. So not necessarily must it be raw food stuff. It could be anything, as long as they are ordering you to send it. They made a request and you do the shipment. So that is how it works. So another way in which you can also start is to travel, business vacation. You can go overseas, you can go to Dubai, you can travel to Australia, to the UK, to Europe, countries in Europe, and you can check everything that is happening, the African food stores, the Nigerian food stores, the grocery stores, and all that. You can talk to them and see how you can do business with them directly. So there are several Nigerians in even along the Asian line that are starting their own African store, Nigerian food store, Nigerian grocery store. Even in Malaysia, in Turkey, in Paris, you have all these there where you can actually get good Nigerian food. So all these people, they need suppliers. They need people to sell to them. They need people to ship to them. So these are also ways you can actually get them. So let people know you export food stuff. So one thing I'm going to ask everyone in the class for this program to do is to open up an Instagram page. Open up an Instagram page that says you export food stuff. So if you have an Instagram page already with good number of followership, you can change the name to, let's say, ABC Food Export. ABC Food Export. Then you put it in your bio. We export our food stuff to the US, to the UK, to Canada, to different countries. You know the way people do their profile on Instagram and all that. So you let people know that you export food stuff. That is very, very important. So open up an Instagram page. I'm going to ask everyone. So you are going to screenshot what you've been able to create and do. You are going to screenshot and send it to me. So your social media is one way to let people know that you export food stuff. So let people know that you are actually exporting food stuff. That is step number one through your digital sphere. So don't just think that people know that's my business, that's what I do. No, let your page, if you are using a Facebook page, if you are using a Facebook profile, or maybe you created a Facebook group, or maybe you're on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, whichever platform you have the followership base, or you like using better. Make sure when I come to that profile, I can see that what you do is export foodstuff. Very important. So digital marketing is also another way in which you can let people know that you export foodstuff. You know, there are several digital marketing tools that one of our facilitators is still going to explain to us in this program. Then e-commerce. E-commerce is also another way. So as you can set up your own e-commerce platform, targeting a particular country, targeting some countries where they will, when they come to that your platform, they will look at it that you are among them, you are in their country, because the platform will reflect someone that understands them. They can buy the product in their own currency on the platform, key in their own address and all that. Meanwhile, you are in Nigeria. But when they buy and all that, you see the alerts, you see you see everything, the notification, and you can just go around, package, source the product, package it, and and ship it to that buyer. Very, very easy and very simple. So that's one of the key things that you can look into also. So one other thing is having a plan for this. For this slide, have a plan. So plan ahead. I started the class by saying that foodstuff export is just like every business you are building. It comes with its own challenges. You have to create structures. There has to be process. If you want to build a business, to become a sustainable business, that 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, the truth is there will still be Nigerians traveling out of the country, Africans increasing in diaspora, like even in the years to come. With the level of development that is happening in Africa and the things that we are seeing, we are not really seeing maybe a lot of development coming into play that will really change the economic status of people in the next 10 years with the current government, even with the the contesting politicians and all that. So for instance, let's say one of these big, huge politicians that are contesting for 2023 elections, let's say they won. If they win the election, that means in the next 8 years, they will still be there. That's how it is in Nigeria. So in that 8 years, it means that Nigerians will still be traveling out of the country, finding their way, greener pastures and all that, which means that food stuff from Nigeria will still be in demand. In fact, the demand will increase because the ones that have traveled out before, they will get married, they will have children, and the population keeps on increasing like that. So it will always be in demand. So if you plan very well to create structures and all that, you can be the one that will start feeding these people even in years to come, in 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years to come. So target market and audience. So why did I use this target market and audience? We have the UK, we know, all of us know that the UK is no longer part of Europe, is no longer part of the European Union, rather. So we have the UK, we have EU, we have the Eurasia. Eurasia are the countries that are between EU and Asia, like Georgia. I think Georgia is part of Eurasia. They are in between. They don't belong to the EU and they don't belong to Asia. So we have countries like that. We have the Asian, we have Australia. Beside Australia, I think we have New Zealand. Yes, we have New Zealand. There was even a time, I think that New Zealand, that we knew that the chief imam or the imam in one of the mosques in New Zealand is a Nigerian. So that tells you how far Nigerians have gone in all these countries. Nigerians have gone very far. I have friends in India. I have friends in China. I have, even in Japan. I have friends that have married Japanese and have children in Japan. I have friends in Hong Kong. So all these countries, There are Nigerians everywhere. And you know, when you see a cluster or a community of Nigerians like that, they'll start organizing parties, celebrating birthdays, you know, because it's a strange environment, it's a strange life that, you know, that they are not used to. So they have to form a community, a kind of bond where they try to encourage, motivate themselves, live the kind of life they live in Nigeria, try to recreate something like that over there. So because of that, they need all these things that we are talking about. Now, even down to the traditional clothes, you know, the traditional wears and all that we have here, they want it over there too. And you can be the person, you know, sending all this to them. So your target market or your audience could be people, Nigerians in the UK, Nigerians in the US, Nigerians in Asia, Nigerians in Australia, and all that. So product specialization is whether you want to specialize on just spices. You know, you just want to be a spices person, like the way I spoke about the Instagram page now for your marketing. It could be that maybe what, instead of you putting ABC food exports, maybe what you want to put there is ABC spices exports, you know, just majoring on spices alone. And if you look at that spices market, even Indians, Chinese, other countries, other citizens of other countries that are overseas, not in their own country, like the US, Canada, and all that, they buy a lot of spices. You know, they buy a lot of these spices, you know, like chili pepper, turmeric, garlic, onions, you know, all the cayenne pepper, you know, all this. So they buy a lot. So you can specialize. So yours might not be spices. It might just be gari alone. Yours might not be gari. It might be maybe what you do is you are making something like red oil, you know, producing your own red oil. It could be cosmetic, things they use for cosmetics and other like shea butter, cocoa butter. So that could be what you're actually focused on and you are pushing, you know, and you get market for it. So build your network, you know, in your have a plan, you have to build your network, you have to build the people who are going to be working with you, because only you can't do the work alone. So therefore, you have to build your network, your sourcing market or the agent who is going to be helping you to buy in different markets. So if you look at it that maybe you don't need a sourcing agent, what about a day comes, you are very busy, or maybe you traveled, you couldn't actually go to the market yourself and buy, you know, and source. So you need someone to do that for you. If you already build that network, even when you are not using that network like every day or immediately, at least whenever you need that service, you can just call up on them and, you know, and they'll answer you. So another is freight agent or shipper. So you also build your network in that area so that you have a freight agent or shipper that works with you. Then you need buyers. You need the people that are going to buy products from you, that are going to buy products from you. Then market and advertise. You need to be constantly engaged in marketing and advertisement, constantly engaged in marketing and advertisement. So types of freight. Okay, types of freight. So like I said earlier that we have two different types of freight when it comes to foodstuff exporting. When it comes to foodstuff exporting, we have the air freight, we have the sea freight. When you are exporting through sea freight, if you have anything like that is maybe like 1 kilogram to like 1 ton, to like 1 ton of product, you use your air freight. You use air freight. Even up to 2 tons, you make use of air freight. Please. Okay, you make use of air freight even up to 2 tons. And when you have something that is above maybe 2 tons, maybe now you have 3 tons of product, you have 4 tons of product that you want to ship out, you can use your sea freight. So you can make use of sea freight, you know, for 4 tons of product. So 4 tons of product, that's like 4,000 kilograms. of product. So it's not really heavy because the smallest container is 20 feet container and it can take about 15 tons, which is 15,000 kilogram worth of product. Excuse me, please. Which is about 15,000 kilogram worth of product. So when you look at that, the gap, that wide gap, it's still okay to load that 4 tons of product on a 20 feet container. Because by the time it gets there, the buyer will do his calculation and the buyer might still be making even more profit, excessive profit on that kind of gap. So depending on the kind of volume that you are doing, maybe per month, per quarter, every 6 months, or every year, if you are using air freight, it's profitable for you. If you are using sea freight, it's also profitable for you from Nigeria. So it's not about maybe, oh, I want to be doing sea freight or I want to be doing air freight. Wherever you find yourself, just do your job, do your work well. Subsequently, we are still going to break down foodstuff export marketing very well. So because from the activity I gave us today, which is about setting up our Instagram page and all that, we are still going to talk deeply about how you use that to do your foodstuff marketing, your export marketing. So for air freight, one thing about air freight is that it has a faster processing time. I already told you that it's not a must to have a NAFDAC license. It's not a must to register with Nigeria Export Promotion Council when you just want to export foodstuff. So it has a faster processing time, very fast. Within a day or two, your what is it called? Your consignment, your cargo might be on air, might already be on air, going to its destination. So it also has a faster delivery time. So what I mean by that processing time is that your freight agent or your shipper will do maybe like some documentation to get that's your package on an air cargo or an airline or any plane that is actually available at that time. So there are just some simple paper documents he's just going to quickly do, he or she will do to do that, to get it on the airplane. So it has a faster delivery time. Airplanes are fast. So 2 days, 3 days, it's already, even a day, it's already at its destination. It's more expensive because like you can have 2,500 naira per kilogram to UK, 3,000 naira per kilogram, 5,000 naira per kilogram to the UK. Now, sometimes you have to pay for your freight here for it to get on the airplane and go to maybe the UK, US, wherever you are sending it to. So let's say that's 3,000 naira per kilogram. When it gets there, maybe you still have to pay for logistics again. That will move it from that airport to the house of the person that actually placed the order. Maybe that one will take maybe £3 per kilogram, or £2 or £4 per kilogram again. So if by the time you multiply everything by, maybe you are sending out like 60 kilogram worth of item, you see that it's a lot. So you spend a lot. So when you look at that kind of amount of money, if you want to ship something that is like 2,000 kilogram, it will be better for you to try to make that 2,000 kilogram to be like 3,000 kilogram, then use sea freight. And by the time you are even using sea freight, you might not spend as much as even up to 50% of what you would have spent if you are using air freight. So those are just the differences. Then it doesn't need documentation, like I said. It doesn't really need much documentation. Your freight agents can just take care of the paper things that are needed. So it's the sea freight that really needs documentation. Then air freights are not regulated by the CBN. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the federal government, they don't interest themselves with whatever is happening when it comes to air freight. They don't really interest themselves with it because that's not where the huge money come from in terms of export. In terms of export, the huge money comes from what goes through the sea. So that's what the CBN is interested in. But that's what the CBN is interested in. So for sea freight has a longer processing time. It can take you 3 weeks, it can take you 2 weeks, it can take you a month for you to process documentation and all that for your container to be loaded on a vessel. Now, just that traffic from where your container is coming from, going to the port alone can take you a month, back and forth between you and the driver and all that. So you can see the difference between sea freight and air freight. So sea freight also takes longer delivery time. It could take 60 days before it gets to its destination. So let's say the vessel leaves Apapa port today. It can still take maybe another 45 to 60 days before it gets to the port of destination where it's going to. It's less expensive, very, very less expensive. So by the time you do your calculation very well, on a kilogram, it could just be maybe 200 naira. It could just be maybe 100 naira, 150 naira on a kilogram, or even 50 naira on a kilogram. So if you fill up a 20-feet container with 15 tons, by the time you calculate everything, it might not be maybe more than 30, 40 naira. So when you see people who actually charge like 200 naira per kilogram, 300 naira per kilogram, so they've calculated that container to be like maybe 6 tons, maybe 4 tons. They just want to load 4 tons inside it and send it out. So that's how it works. Unlike air freight that you can be charged 4,000 naira per kilogram and you still pay for logistics over there. Except the person you are sending it to goes to clear it by himself or herself at the port. So for sea freight, they need lots of documentation because it's going on container, so they need different kind of documentation. We are going to check that in the next slide. Then it's monitored by the CBN. In fact, when you are engaging in sea freight, you can't do sea freight without registering with the CAC, without registering with the Nigeria Export Promotion Council. You have to do all that. And before you can do that, even say, okay, I want to export containerized, there's a form you have to fill on a CBN portal called Form NXP, which monitors the proceed, the money you want to get from that export. So CBN is interested in the money that is going to be coming in from your containerized exports. It's called inflow. They call it inflow. So like us now, there's an inflow we are still expecting to hit our account. So that inflow, if it is, let's say it has taken about 6 months and that money does not come in, CBN will send us an email. Our bank will send us an email from CBN saying that, oh, repatriation of exports, so. We've not seen the money. How far? They don't own the money is mine, is ours, but when it comes in, we are the one who will change it and all that. But because CBN monitored the export, they knew that something went out. They are expecting something to come back in. So when they don't see it, they will reach out to you, what's happened. But when it is air freight, CBN is not, because it's just a small thing. It's not even on containerized exports. You might be expecting $1 million. You might be expecting $2 million. You might be expecting 500,000, 50,000, 10,000. But for air freight, your buyer might have even paid money into your account, like in naira already, like sent you 50,000 naira, sent you 100,000 naira, sent you 200,000 naira. So CBN is not really interested in all of that. So sea freight documentation, like let's say you are actually interested in sea freight. You have an order and the order is huge, it's up to about 4 tons and above. You want to use a containerized cargo or a container to actually make the shipment. So what do you do? So these are documentations that you need. One is certificate of incorporation with the CAC. It has to be a limited liability company for you to make use of a sea freight export. Then your export license, that means you have to register with the Nigeria Export Promotion Council and have what we call the export registration certificate. You are going to make sure you register online on what we call the tradesystem.gov.ng. So it's a CBN portal that you use to apply for Form NXP. for forming export. So export license, pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice is like the initial invoice that you send out. Then there's a final commercial invoice. Your final commercial invoice actually shows, your final commercial invoice actually shows that you are done with the invoice that you want to send the buyer. So there's also packing list. Your packing list shows the quantity, the net weight, the net weight, the total weight of everything that you packed in your container. That is what your packing list shows. What your commercial invoice will now show is the amount, the value in dollars or in whatever currency the person is going to pay. The total value of everything the person wants to buy, it will be shown in your commercial invoice. Why the NXP form is just something that can be used to track that your shipment. Oh, maybe you've done it, the stage, the level where that shipment is. So anyone can track it. The bank can track it. You can track it. The customs can track it. The CBN can also track it. Then you need the bill of lading, which is going to be given to you by the shipping company that is actually shipping your container, your certificate of origin that shows that what you're actually sending out comes from Nigeria, the certificate for fumigation, which will be issued to you by a third-party company affiliated with the customs service, health, phyto certificates, NAFDAC. So this health certificate is issued by NAFDAC. So that's why most times you don't need your product to have a NAFDAC registration number. So they will check, they will issue a certificate of health quality assurance for you. So you also need, quality certificate that shows that whatever you are sending out has a very good quality, and the specification that shows that, you actually know what you are doing. So this is how sea freight documentation works. So this is the end of our class for introduction to foodstuff exporting. So we have about 7 minutes more. So let me take some questions. So any other question, you put it on the WhatsApp group for us to answer. Then, before then, the class activity that I discussed, I'll also send a reminder to our email. Then the recorded classes link will also drop on the WhatsApp groups. So we should all open an Instagram page for our export business. Open an Instagram page for your export business, that when I get there, I'll know that it's an export page. I'll know that what you do is foodstuff exporting. So if you major on a particular foodstuff, like maybe you are specializing on something, maybe palm oil, maybe spices, maybe shea butter, maybe whatever it is, make that shout more on your page, on your Instagram page by the time we are looking through it and all that. So any question, please? Let us quickly take questions.
Okay. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Thanks for though I came in very late, so I don't know if a lot has been said. I really came in late. All right. My question is, you mentioned the last time that we should portray our business on our Instagram platforms to make it visible. How do we do that? Because if I look at most other people I see that are involved in this type of export, I don't know, they do a kind of how I put it, graphics design by advertising what they do on their platform. Is there a teaching for that separately, or we'll have to do that, or you just put it on our timeline normally that is what we do, or how do we do it?
Okay, yeah, well, one thing first of all, when I say your page must communicate like what you do, on every page, there's like a section for profile, for bio, for you to explain what you actually do. So one thing is, the first mistakes a lot of people do is that they don't let their page speak about what they do, like initially, so that when I get there, even before looking at the picture, maybe I just want to spend 1 second on your page, but in that 1 second, I must be able to see that you ship this product or you export this product. So even if I live there, if I want to come back or I need that thing any other time, I can just direct myself to your page. Then when it comes to representation, graphics, and all that, there are tools you can use for that, which is Canva. Canva, everyone makes use of Canva for their graphics. So graphics, you shouldn't actually be like a professional graphic artist or graphic person. There are different digital marketing tools that we use nowadays. In one of our faculties will be teaching us about digital marketing tools in this program. So, but you can use Canva. Canva, you can download Canva from your Play Store, Canva. So when you download it, what Canva does is that there are different designs on Canva. All you just have to do is select one and re-edit. So you can select one, the pictures you've taken about your food stuff, your food products, your food items, and all that. You just put the pictures on it and let people know that you export this to maybe different destination or audience or different countries. So like I said, that we'll also have like a session on foodstuff export marketing. When we are having that session, there are some breakdowns that we'll do about how you can do a target cargo marketing. Like maybe a certain day of the week, of the month, of the year, where you want to export to a particular country, and you have a quantity of or a quantity of volume or a volume of product that you want to send to that country. It can be Canada, can be UK, can be US. So one thing is that you must first know how to start presenting on your timelines. You might be someone who is very good with Facebook. Your own might be Instagram. Another person might be Twitter, but whichever platform you are very good with, you have to let people know that you export foodstuff or you export this particular product, that you package, you process, that you are an expert in it, and that's what you do. So even with that, there will be some people that are looking at you, they see you, they see what you are doing, but they don't need your service, they don't need the product. They will refer you to someone else who will come and do business with you. So that's how it works. So Canva is a very great tool that you can download from Play Store and use to for this marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll check that. Thank you.
Okay. Just open your Google Play Store, Canva, download it. There are free templates. There are also paid templates, but the free template is even enough for you to work with. So we have about a minute more. So any other question?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay, I want to ask, what is the limit at which one can actually export as a mini exporter? As in, what is the quantity of good? Will it be up to a ton? Can a mini exporter with that license, like you said, that of the air freight, we don't need document and it's not regulated by CBN, we don't need much document. So,
okay.
But I've seen, so, okay.
Okay, the truth is, when you want to export, when you are doing foodstuff exporting through air freight, there's no minimum and there's no maximum. There's no minimum, there's no maximum, like maybe if this thing is more than, no. You are going to pay for whatever you are sending out. That's all. So as long as you have the money, you are fine. You can export 10 tons, 20 tons, 50 tons. It is just because of cost that we are saying that, maybe at a particular level, it will be better to go through sea freight to save money, to save costs. That's all.